lies. Folks, some of the spies never do try to listen. It's real. I'm mad. Clueless when you're
Yo, what is up, people? What is going on? We had some problems today getting this going, so we appreciate everybody hanging in there for 5 extra minutes. That is the challenges of change. If sales is all about change, we sold a lot of shit today. The first thing I want to do is welcome you to the Word. Today we're talking about CRM. This is episode 4. We're super excited. It's been a good time so far. We'll get some changes this week. I think you know, or from our last episode, Ruth the P. Penders is gone, and we have a replacement, and that is Kira, or Kiki B, as her friends call her. We're going to roll with Kiki B. Kiki B, what's up, girl?
Hey.
Yes, people, I know. It is another lovely Asian woman. This is not a conspiracy. We don't know how this happened, but we are excited to be able to go from Ruth to Kiki B. It keeps the flow. So we're super excited. So, girl, thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on this side of it. It's exciting.
I know, it's fun. It's fun. We had a little interesting morning transitioning from Ruth to you, huh?
Yeah.
One word. Give one word.
Chaotic. Stressful.
Yeah, 2. She was good. That was good. It was fucking crazy is really what it was. But good stuff. Thank you. I'm excited to have you on, and good work to try to pull all this together at the 11th hour.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so folks, what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about CRM, okay? So for those of you who have not participated before in the Word is all about sales and giving you guys things to make sales better. Well, one of the things I thought about was how painful the CRM is, so we're going to drop that today. Our guest is Jon Ferrara. We'll get to him in just a bit. Excited to have him. So we're going to just jump right in from here. The first thing I want to show you was a funny video we saw. You know how we always start with something different, something visual? Well, today's is a funny video. We have that video ready to go?
Yes.
All right, so here we go. I know you people can relate.
How are you liking the new CRM system? How are you liking the new CRM system?
I have spent a full day trying to get my forecast. I have spent a full day trying, but only one of my 8 deals is showing up.
You sales guys may be good with people, but you sure do not understand simple technology.
We can't see it, Kira.
One of the 83 marketing codes so that marketing can nurture and track the leads.
Well, I figured that one out of
technical difficulty.
How about the 22 products?
You want to pause it and try again?
Products are silly.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys. Like I said, we are absolutely going. It's all new. It's all new to everybody here. So bear with us as we. We lose her entirely. No. Okay. It's all new. Kira's new. We're trying to transition from one to another, so we apologize for the craziness. But hey, it's all good. It's all good. While she's doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit tell you a story about CRM. CRM is the biggest pain in the butt to salespeople. How many of you disagree? And by the way, guys, drop your stuff in at Sales Jolt. I know this is a hot topic for salespeople. I know salespeople cannot handle the CRM sometimes. Management screws it up, makes it difficult for the salespeople. Management uses it as a tool for information. Management uses a tool to forecast and to plan. But salespeople need to use it in order to make their number as a tool to get better at servicing their customers, and there's a big disconnect. So I know it's a pain in the ass to both of you, and hopefully after today we can help bring those folks together. But are we ready?
Just do it one second.
Okay, here we go, guys.
It was about 2 hours ago. I entered all those codes and the neural network of conditions that are required to predict the exact time the deal will close, which is required by our sales management team.
So when you press the F8 key to run the forecast, do you remember to lift your right leg like an Irish setter?
I lifted my leg, but do I have to shake it as well?
Of course. Did you take the self-paced 22-hour online course and study the 700-page manual, or did you just wing it?
I started the course, but the need to actually sell something keeps getting in my way of becoming an enabled CRM user.
Well, you know, we are living in a Web 2.0 world, and to make the most of your productivity, you need to get on board with our automation.
Why can we not just use a spreadsheet to do the forecast? It used to take 5 minutes, and not all day. After all, management just ends up generating a spreadsheet out of the CRM system and emailing it to everyone.
We have one watching.
I cannot wait to share your view on Twitter.
Morris.
We're now automated and
Thanks for tuning in.
sales.
Tweet at us, #SalesJolt.
Well, before you start meeting, would you help me get my forecast to work?
If you read my blog, you would know how to do it.
By the way, where did you work before you came here?
I worked at the IRS on clarifying the tax code.
I never would have guessed it.
Guys, I think that is a funny video. We found it just this morning. It was a last-minute thing. But what I like about it is it highlights the gap between the CRM owner and management and salespeople and sales managers whose job is to get shit done and sell stuff. So to go a step further, what I was talking about before, that whole idea, and I love the phrase where the blind dude goes, good, the funny thing, trying to sell stuff is getting in the way. Exactly. We got to flip that paradigm. So I'll tell you a quick story. I remember when I first started selling, I didn't know what a CRM was. I had no idea what a CRM was. And I was selling chamber memberships at the time. And they gave me, this was a long time ago, folks, I'm old. They gave me this, I think it was FileMaker Pro or PageMaker. I think it was maybe PageMaker. It wasn't even a CRM. It was this really random application that allowed me to create fields and put the fields in wherever. And so I got to really create my own database, for lack of a better word. And so when I started selling, I didn't know what to do, so I just sort of kicked into it. But what I started to realize over time, and I've always been a fan of good CRM management, is I started changing the fields. I started adding new fields. I started creating notifications because I control it all. There wasn't a central thing. It was client-server, and I controlled the whole thing. And what I quickly started to learn is the better I set up my CRM and the more focused I was in ensuring the right data was in the right place and I was getting the right notifications, I became a better salesperson. Like, there'd be times I'd talk to somebody, they weren't interested, and I would make a note, describe everything that was going on, put a notification in for 6 months. I would have completely forgot about them, and bing, up comes this notification, and I had all the notes in there. I knew why they weren't interested in the first time. I knew what we talked about. I knew it all, and I'd get the sale. In my first job, I'd never sold anything before, and I was the top rep month after month, the top rep for the year, and all the other seasoned reps were all pissed off at me, and it was just because I had managed to keep all these people in line and work the system to get more sales. So I'm a huge advocate. If done right, you can make it work. And so that's what I wanted to hope out of this and why we wanted to bring Jon Ferrara in, because I want people to walk away, management and salespeople alike, in believing and recognizing that they can make their CRM work for them to drive more sales, and management can use it to help salespeople drive more sales. So with that, let's bring in our man Jon. Kira, is Jon in? Is Jon ready to fly?
Yes.
Let's take off, Jim.
Oh, baby, I love you.
How's my audio? Can you hear me 5x5?
I can hear you 5x5, and I can't see. Now I can even see you. This is a damn beautiful thing. So,
How's
Jon,
it going?
thanks. It's going. It's a little stressful, I'll be honest. We had trouble getting this baby going. We're here and running now, and we have you.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to be here with you because I really believe that sales is a service. That the more effective we can connect with our buyers today and be a trusted advisor and help them make decisions faster, the more money we'll make. Sales is a service. My equity.
So yes, you are. Really bad.
All right, let's check with that.
Do you have some headphones?
No, it's headphones. Let me just close out a couple. Make sure I don't have another thing open of this.
It's funny, you weren't when you first came on, but then you started.
Huh.
I don't hear anything
I don't
now.
hear anything now.
Kira?
No.
I can't hear Kira either. Okay.
How's this, Jim?
Still an echo.
You gotta love
Google.
I know, right?
You get what you pay for.
Ouch. Okay. How's this?
Same echo.
Yep.
What about just turning your volume down a little, John?
Okay.
I know, John, you're old, and you need all that extra. No,
Hey, be careful.
Well, let's just see
how we can make it work.
Yeah.
Am I echoing
too?
No.
Okay.
Okay, how's that? You know what? I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna come back in.
Okay.
All right.
Am I echoing
Am I echoing to you, Keenan?
Yes.
I don't know what just
I don't know
happened.
what just happened.
Because I wasn't at
I wasn't at first.
No, you weren't.
Oh my goodness. Can you? What about now? Oof.
Sounds good.
I'm sorry. It's transition one, right? There's nothing we can
Transition
do.
one. It can only go up from here.
Only. Yep. That's okay.
Okay.
Before I forget, though, since we do have some viewers here, this is a social interaction. So, the more that we get, the more we can discuss, the more we can all collaborate, the better. So if you can hop on Twitter, #SalesJolt, the most tweets and retweets will get some swag.
All right. So
Here we go.
I'm still echoing it. John, I wonder if he's having trouble. Here he comes.
Yay!
Hello.
Hello.
Is it still echoing?
No. You sound
Am I
great.
echoing?
No.
All right. I'm echoing too. That's all right.
Denmark 98.
What's up, Denmark 98? All right, John. So where were we?
We're talking about how it's the basics that win the game. That when you started in sales, you basically had a tool that enabled you to follow up and follow up. You had basically what's called a comprehensive card in a software program. When you talk to somebody, what you got to do next, when you got to do it, you filed it based on that plan, and you were reminded to follow up and follow through. In the old days, that got you to fail. But I'm going to tell you today, you don't know when you're making buying decisions, so what you need to do is be a trusted advisor when they are making those decisions. I just think it's a little harder today. What do you think, Jim?
Ooh, the echo just stopped. I don't know. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. We need a tool that helps us stay connected to our users. I think the tool needs to do three things, and I want your thoughts on this. First, let's help us stay connected to our user, right? And two, it has to help us stay connected and follow the sales process, right? Where am I with that person? What do they need next? How is their buying decision? Because I can't keep all that shit in my head. And then we need something that allows management to make heads and or tails of it all and be able to anticipate and run the business.
Yeah, and in the old days, what we did is we did it on spreadsheets, but we did it the night before they were due because it wasn't part of our sales process. And I believe the sales process involves identifying the right person, connecting in an authentic and relevant way, building a relationship, understanding their needs, and serving them. And I'm going to tell you a story about a sales guy who was calling on me just minutes before we got on the phone. And this guy's basically sent me 6 emails, and he's cold calling me on my cell phone. And he doesn't even know who I am. I know more about him than he knows about me. I Nimbled the guy, and I was able to understand where he worked, and he had no idea what my business was about, what I was about. He was basically just trying to connect, and that's connecting unintelligently. And I think today, if you don't do your homework about a company you're doing business with, who they are and how you might serve them, you're done in today's business, because I think we're over-connected and over-communicated. And it's one of the reasons why I believe we need tools to help us do this at scale, because salespeople have more contacts, more communication channels, and they're expected to deliver more sales. How do you do that in today's world? It's hard.
So let's talk about this. This is actually good, and let's flip this into how people can do it. And you're talking about the top of the funnel, right? And to give Nimble a little plug, Nimble is probably the best CRM at the top of the funnel, unequivocally. The ability to get context in there, to find information about the context, to everything you need to learn to connect is in Nimble provides that snap. So from the top of the funnel perspective, it's the bomb. Below that, then let's talk about the middle of the funnel and then closing. But why don't you start with the top of the funnel?
Well, I think at the top of the funnel, it's important for you to understand who it is and how you're going to connect to them, and then to connect and stay connected, so when they do make a buying decision, they don't only think of you, but they bring their friends. And you're not going to do that by yelling at somebody about how great your products and services are. You need to teach them how they can be great, because I think that people buy a better version of themselves. They don't buy great products. So you need to be prepared before you meet with another person. Once you've done that, you need to understand what their business is about, who's going to be making the decision, whether your product fits for them, and then to stay connected, so when they do make a buying decision, or if you're able to help them or serve them, they make a decision to select your products. And today, that is essentially a process. You have to understand who's making the decision, what are the next steps, schedule those things, and follow up and follow through. I think the biggest problem is where we're doing those things today is not in our CRM. It's in our inbox, and now more and more in the channels where our customers are having conversations and where we're participating in those conversations. And I believe that's one of the biggest causes of failure of CRM is lack of use. It's one of the reasons the top-selling app for the Salesforce App Exchange is a plugin for your inbox. I think that's where we spend most of our day, and now more and more in social. And so my biggest advice for any business person who's trying to build relationships and drive revenue is you need to be able to intelligently segment your database, reach out in a relevant and authentic way, stay connected, so when they make a buying decisions, if your products or services fit with them, they make a decision to select your products. And that is basically the basics, and you need to be doing that wherever you're working. And so I believe that your CRM should work everywhere you work.
Okay, so let's run with that, right? Before we go to the middle of the funnel, let's run with that. Still the top of the funnel. Everything you said is what they need to do. But let's just assume they don't have Nimble, right?
Yeah.
How do they do that? So what is the plugin you talked about? What are some of the other things, other tools that people are using to stay connected, and how do they get that into the system, into the database?
Well, the bottom line is if you're a sales rep and you work for a company and they give you a tool that you need to use in order for that company to function, you need to be working with the tools you're given. And so let's assume you're using a traditional CRM that's a database that you got to go and log what you did, who you did it with, and what you think the possibility and outcome of sale will be. Let's say you're using Salesforce. So you need to be able to update records, create records, log your calls, schedule your notes, and schedule your follow-up and follow-through and your opportunities. And it's just too hard to go to the CRM to do that. So one of the plugins I like for that is a product called Cirrus Insights. And it's spelled like the stars, Cirrus, C-I, like the clouds, Cirrus Clouds. And what that product does, it plugs into your Gmail as well as your Outlook and allows you to edit, update, and view Salesforce records within your inbox where you're spending a lot of time.
Okay, so I like that. And the thing I will also add is almost every additional add-on product, Tout App, let's go with that, Yesware, those are ways to connect via email and track that. They have buttons that say connect to your CRM. Make sure those are connected. Any product you use, make sure that you can leverage it to get connected into your CRM. Because I like what you're saying. At the top of the funnel, you don't want to be redundant. Most don't allow you to work within the CRM like Nimble or a few others. So make sure you're taking this top of the funnel information and getting it into the CRM any way you can, through integration, through add-on products like Sirius, etc. So I agree with you. So let's shift it now, because I know you love the top of the funnel, but we got to talk about once you move in. So I've engaged with them. I've given them a demo. They know who I am. Maybe I've met them face-to-face. So now how do I leverage my CRM? What am I doing in the middle of the funnel? How am I leveraging my CRM to move a deal from the initial top of the funnel stages towards close? How do I do that? What's the best way to do that?
Well, I think that one of the most important things in moving a deal to closure is understanding if you're a fit for the deal. Because if you're not a fit for the deal, get the F out, right?
Yep.
And
yes.
So, and so ultimately,
you can say it, John. You can say it. You don't have to say F. You can just drop it all
the fuck out of the deal.
Yeah!
And you know, more importantly, if you're a smart business person, what you're going to do is you're going to help that customer make better decisions faster, and you might even recommend somebody else. Heck, I recommend traditional CRMs all the time because ultimately they're going to come back to us when they have a need, or they're going to tell a friend about it. So ultimately, you need to do the basics in business. Qualify the customer. Make sure that they have a budget and ability to make a decision, that you're a good product fit, and you understand who the decision makers are. And that's the basics that you need to be doing in order to get a deal from qualification to closure.
Okay, so I want to add some things here. So I think one of the problems with CRM is that we become lazy. I'm not going to blame millennials, because I think millennials and Gen X's are just as lazy as the over the hill people. What are you guys called again? The help me. What are the old people called now? The baby boomers. Thank you. Right? I think lazy is just who we are. So one of the things that I highly recommend is you just can't rely on the tools. You have to have a process and an identification of what type of content and information you want in your CRM. So for instance, one of the things I think almost all CRMs are missing is deal strategy. Once you've done the demo, you've had 1 or 2 conversations, maybe 3 or 4 conversations with the customer. You know what they're looking for. You know what they're trying to accomplish. You know where they're trying to change. You need to understand what your strategy is to deliver and help them understand why your product or service is the win. And if you don't have a good deal strategy, I don't care how bad they need their product, you're going to be beat by your competition. So I think things like outlining the specific deal strategy based on the context of the sale is critical in the CRM. If you don't have that, you don't know what you're doing. I think they also need to outline things like the major objectives, the major concerns. They need to outline who's working with them and who's working against them. What's the timeline? There's going to need to be more information that not only you can use when you come back and have the next conversation, but management can understand what's happening in the sale. And guess what, John? We can't automate that. It's still work. And we're spending so much time running around trying to automate frickin' everything and make it simple as pie. But like anything else, some things just take work. And the middle of the funnel is the biggest example of that when it comes to CRM. Your thoughts?
Well, I absolutely believe that process wins. And that if you can do that at scale, then you can achieve your business goals. And so ultimately, understanding the strategy of how you're going to get into an account, how you're going to get that deal closed is critical. Now, once you've done that, getting the deal closed is and delivering the products effectively. I think that's where a lot of salespeople fall and fail. Is they think that they're just bagging and tagging and getting the order, and they're not following up and following through in order to deliver on their promises and their services. And I believe that a company's brand is built on the promises it makes and the experiences it delivers. So I think that as a former SE at a technology company, you need to take care of your team and work as a team in order to follow up and follow through and deliver on those promises you make as a salesperson. What do you think?
I love what you just said, actually. This is perfect for the management. We're talking about the salespeople. Let's talk about sales management. I used to have a boss. Well, he's actually the COO. I reported to the EVP. And he would send out these notes every week to all the salespeople. Hey, this deal date has passed. This deal date has passed. What the hell's going on? And I got his point, right? There's nothing worse than a deal that's said to close on April 5th, and it's now April 20th. All right, I get it. It's frustrating. But what he never did, and what I like what you just said, was he never really took the leadership role of building a process into the CRM that helped the salespeople close deals. And I think the best organizations take a look at the CRM and they say, okay, What information do I want the salespeople to input? What kind of information do I want them to have front and center? What information do I want them thinking about? And then create the fields, create the processes, and then develop a message that explains why this is valuable to them and the organization, and educate the whole organization and moving through it. Don't just beat them with a hammer and say shit like, if it ain't in the CRM, it doesn't exist. And why is this deal not closed, right? I think they need to do that.
And the biggest crime is that most management don't even look at the reports of the data that you're putting into the CRM. So ultimately what a CRM is just a dead database where you beat your salespeople to put the information in. I think that's why they call it Salesforce, is because you got to force salespeople to use it. And essentially what happens is you type that data in there, it's dead data, it decays like fish over time, and management doesn't even look at the reports. They only look at it when you're not making your numbers, then they use it as a lever to beat on you. And so ultimately, I think if you really go back to the history of CRM, it started as relationship management, contact management, evolved into SFA. Now people call it CRM, customer relationship management. I think it's customer reporting management, and I think that most CRMs are still stuck in SFA. They're really Salesforce automation. If you think about the future of business, social business, we really need to have customer engagement systems, and not just salespeople using those tools, but everybody in the company using them, because everybody in the company is participating in the new digital social conversation of the customer. And so, you know, we could talk about SFA, we could talk about pipelines, but ultimately what made products in the past like Goldmine great was it wasn't just salespeople, because it's not just salespeople to touch a customer, and it's not just prospects and customers going to enable you to grow your business. You need to connect with the entire community around your customers so that you can gain influence and top of mind with them. And so, I'm sorry, did I just get up on my soapbox, Jim?
Yeah, it's good. That's what I want. I want soapboxes. I love soapboxes. So yes, but you know, you talked about we need to do that. Doesn't Salesforce do that? Like, I've been to Dreamforce every year for the last few years, and they talk about that. And they bring people up on stage, and they talk about marketing's using it, and how the warehouse is using it. Any customer touch point is using it.
The reality is that most CRM systems are still stuck in the silo of salespeople. And so essentially in most companies, there's silos of information and applications. So there's Salesforce, Marketo, NetSuite, Zendesk, and Hootsuite. And those are basically your tools that you have in sales, marketing, customer service, accounting, and social. And there's islands of information. Nobody knows who's doing what with whom. And I believe that's why many of the acquisitions that have been going on in the marketplace today are driving towards a simply smarter social sales and marketing platform that enables the entire company to listen, engage, and participate in the conversation, not just bagging and tagging people, but actually helping them implement and then come back and buy more and bring their friends. And so I think the biggest problem with traditional CRMs is that you basically give them to your salespeople and they sit over there in sales, marketing sitting over here blasting them with messages, marketing and sales aren't in line, let alone the social, and management is up in their closed door office not participating in the customer journey and conversation. And so there's silos, there's islands, and I think that we need to break all those things down in order to empower salespeople to engage, because they're just not selling anymore. I believe that service is the new sales, and if you empower your salespeople to serve the customer, that means more than just bagging and tagging and getting the order.
Okay. So we got a question. We got a question from Twitter. It's from Doug Lehman on layman's terms. If you don't follow this cat, John, you should follow him. He is.
Oh, I know Doug. Hey, Doug, love your videos, man.
He's great, isn't he? There's a guy with passion and enthusiasm like nobody's business. I love it. He's endeared himself to a sales guy. He asks, what techniques should, I'm assuming, should people implement after the sale? Engagement and follow-up.
Well, ultimately, selling is just the beginning of the journey with the customer. And if you look at the McKinsey study of the customer journey, the customer immediately after the sale is still evaluating whether or not they have the right product and they're going to like it, and then even after they've owned it for a while, whether they go and buy it again. And so ultimately, a smart salesperson is following up and asking, how are you doing? How can we serve you more? You know, how many times you've been at a restaurant and they serve you your meal and they don't come back and say, how's it going, right? It's like you might need some sauce, you might need some salt, or you might need to get that meal replaced. A smart salesperson is participating in their customer journey before the sale, during the sale, and after the sale. And that's how they earn not just the opportunity to serve that customer again, but the ability to get referrals from that customer. Does that help, Doug?
So he asked it on, I'm going to say yes, he asked it on Twitter, so I'll let him chime in from that. All right, so with a couple more minutes, I know we started a little late, so we're going to run a little late, but if you could give one actionable, this is important now, actionable piece of advice to a salesperson on how to get the most out of their CRM, and then one piece of actionable advice for leadership, what would they be?
Okay, so number one, any business person listening to me today, your network is your net worth. And so your personal brand plus your professional network is your professional net worth, and you should be bringing your network to work with you and using on your company's behalf in order for you to achieve their and your business goals. So what does that mean? Today, your relationships are in your phone, they're in Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, everywhere else. What you need to do is be able to bring that with you everywhere you're working, in your company's CRM, in your social tools, in your accounting system, in your marketing tools. And so my number one thing I tell any business person, especially salespeople, is to build your brand, nurture a network, bring your network to work with you. So what that means is that you should have your own personal CRM and be bringing that to work with you on a daily basis. In addition to that, for management, you need to empower not just salespeople to touch the customer and to participate in their journey, but everybody in the company, because it's not just salespeople that sell. Everybody in the company is participating in that conversation, and your company brand is built on the emerging social employee who's touching the social customer. And so what I'd say is let your employees build their brand, grow their network, and then empower them to make decisions in a positive way to whatever customer and engagement that they're in wherever they're at. And so let me stop for a second. If you go to a Philadelphia Flyers game, everybody who comes in the stadium is greeted. And when they're greeted, they're saying, what can I do to help you today? And if that person has any need at all, that person at the gate is empowered to stop what they're doing and to take care of that customer. And so what I'm saying for management is empower your team, help them to drive better outcomes with customer experience, and you get this type of service if you go to Nordstrom's. They walk around the counter and they hand you the bag and they shake your hand. If you go to an Apple store, they have trained by the Ritz-Carlton people how to deliver a delightful experience. And it's your salespeople at your business who should not be bagging and tagging customers. You need to train them that sales is not closing the deal. It's delivering on the promises you make and the experiences that you deliver to your customers.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. And that's actually probably a good segue. John, we have a segment after speaker called Cut It Out. And
Cut It Out.
Yeah, Cut It Out. So this, yes, Cut It Out. And basically what it is it's telling sales, it's when we identify salespeople doing shit they just shouldn't be doing, or people doing what they're doing. So this week's Cut It Out is basically when it comes to social. We did a segment on social last week with Coca Sexton and Brian Fonzo. It was awesome. You know, talked a lot about engagement, talked a lot about listening, talked a lot about giving, lots and lots about giving. You get social. You're always identified as one of the best social sellers and best social people out there. So you get it. So it's about giving, right? Well, we had somebody who came on the show yesterday and just reminded me that I need to do a Cut It Out. So do we have the graphic? Kira, can you hear me? Oh, okay.
I think she's working on it.
Okay, I don't know if she can hear me because I can't hear her. Oh, she's on mute for some reason.
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, I'm pulling it up.
So, John, this was interesting. This woman actually responded to our show, and I'm going to read an email she sent us about her thoughts on the show. And the message is for all salespeople and all people in social to not do this. This is not the way you want to roll when it comes to social. And hopefully it comes up soon.
Here we go.
Are we meerkatting?
Yes, we are.
Red Bull, baby, keeps me going.
Hell yeah.
Shoot, who needs coffee? Who needs coffee? Where's your coffee, John? You a coffee drinker?
I am. I have 2 cups in the morning, one when I get up in the morning and one with my breakfast. Right now, throughout the day, I drink water. And here's a little ad for Offer Pop. I don't know what they do, but they did give me this mug, and I like it. So thank you, Offer Pop.
Yeah, but that can't hang with the sales guy one, man. Oh, wait, a sales guy one rocks, baby. Right? Yeah, I got to get you. We ran out, but next batch I'll get you one.
All right.
We do. That's a good idea. You just inspired me, John. We need to have a guest packet. So when guests come on, we ship them a packet of stuff. So thank you for that.
And you should send it before so that when they're on the air, they basically go, "Hey, Jim, thank you."
Yeah, you're a damn genius. All right. So here we are. We're having a word on social, and most of it's centered around things like sharing, giving, participating, engaging. Right. So at the end of the show, we get, or I get personally, no, I think it was Max, my boy Max, love Max, got this email, and it was from, we're going to call her Confused, right? And it was, seriously, what a joke. When are you getting to the meat of how to sell on social past all of your shit? Seriously, I don't care if you do have Verizon or you're as a customer, you sound like a loudmouth punk. Well, it's interesting then, so Confucius versus Confused. We saw it. She didn't like it. We felt bad. So we tried to engage with her in a much, I don't know, softer approach. I said, did you end up watching the entire show? If so, and you didn't quit after 4 minutes, did you take anything from it? Confused. No, I didn't take anything from it. I watched for 2 minutes, got annoyed thinking I was listening to another sales pitch rather than learning a session, and turned it off. So Confucius came back. We were like, look, I think the overall point was missed. Well, clearly, since you only watched 2 minutes. Okay, so we could have been a little softer there. Max got a little fired up. But in the end, what we did was we told her to go watch the show. We told her that there was more to it. We told her who the guests were. We sent her links to the show after the fact. We did everything we could. I friended her, tried connecting with her on LinkedIn. She didn't respond to my LinkedIn. And then she follows back with, oh, wow, thanks for the education. I wouldn't have figured out without you if it weren't for your words of wisdom. So here's the cut it out. In today's world, you have a voice like you always have. But if your voice is to make freaking noise and yell at people and express your discontent in a way that's not engaging, that doesn't allow for dialogue, you're dead. You're dead. I mean, cut it out, people. Just because you have a voice and it's louder now doesn't mean you need to use it that way. We need to understand that if we don't like something, the world is actually a platform now to make change. You can actually say, hey, this would have been better if. We would have enjoyed it better if you had done this, you got to it faster. But just yelling out, being a troll, cut it out. No more trolls. We got enough trolls. Salespeople need to take the high road, and we need to stop being trolls. That's the cut it out this week. No more trolls. John, what do you think?
I truly believe that the future of the ways that salespeople or even businesses engage has to be as a trusted advisor to inspire and educate their customers to make better decisions faster. And I call that the 5 E's of social business. Educate, enchant, engage, embrace, and empower your customers. And you do that by teaching them, by giving your knowledge away. So I like to tell stories. If you teach people to fish, they'll figure out you sell fishing poles. Don't tell people how great your products and services are. They don't really give a flying fuck, right? So what you need to do is you need to teach them how they can be better, because people buy a better version of themselves. And so if you do that on a daily basis, figure out ways you can help other people grow, then you will grow. And ergo the wise words of Zig Ziglar.
And let's take it a step further, right? I'd like to say it's not just about business, and it's not just about, I may be selling something, I may be representing a company, I may represent Nimble, I represent a sales guy, but I'm also an individual.
You're a human being.
Yes, and if I see something I don't like, I have a choice. I have two paths. I can say, like Confused, what is this bullshit? This is crap. What a waste of my time. You're a bunch of boneheads. Or I can say, hey, I didn't get much out of that. I didn't understand. You know, make a recommendation, right? Which path is productive, right? Social is designed to allow that to happen. And if people aren't taking advantage of that, in the end, I think they're hurting themselves, not the target of their disdain.
And that goes beyond business, right? It goes to your personal life, your professional life. It goes to the things that are happening around you. And Jim, that's one of the things I'd like to just give you a shout out, is that you're willing to take a stand on things that you're personally passionate about. And I support you in that, right? Because ultimately it's not about making money, because nobody puts a thing on their grave that says made millions of dollars. What they said is beloved husband, cherished friend, father, loved one, add value to the community. And so, Jim, first off, thank you for the show and teaching and inspiring other people. But more importantly, thank you for being the amazing human being, the father that you are, and the person that on a daily basis is helping to teach people to grow beyond their business aspects on a human level, so that on a human-to-human basis, we could all be better off in the end. Because I think that's what we're on this planet to do.
Oh, you're a good man. You're a good man, John. I appreciate that. For those of you who don't know, John follows me on Facebook. And I don't let a lot of people into my Facebook group, one, because I'm obnoxious and I don't need people taking that and putting it out into the real world, but also because I believe Facebook is really your personal network, and it really shouldn't be public for a reason. Others disagree, that's fine for them. So I let John in. I post lots of pictures of my daughters. I post a lot of opinions about things like race and civil rights and women's issues. And not everybody agrees with me, but I'm passionate about it, and John has been a huge supporter. So, John, that means a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. So now that Love Fest is over, Bumpy Ride. John, I apologize. You had to be the transition show in the Bumpy Ride, but you helped us kill it, so we appreciate it.
We worked it out, man. You know, I used to be a systems engineer, so I'm technically dangerous.
Well, listen, man, I really appreciate you being on. Kira, is there anything you'd like to add?
Thank you guys so much. It was a great show. As far as CRM goes, I'm a believer. I used it in 4 years of sales, so, you know, the fact that you're integrating the social networking into it, that's something I did not see in my financial services career, so thank you.
So, guys, Kira is with us for a while. I'm excited. Again, she's a replacement of Ruth, so she's also my assistant. So if anybody needs anything, she's the woman to grab. I want to give a shout-out for next week's, or I guess I always say week, but it's bi-weekly. I can't figure it out. Our next show, Episode 5, is going to be, in my opinion, the most important and biggest one to date. I cannot tell you how excited I am. It is going to be with Jill Conrath and the former COO and author of the Balance Myth, CEO of Quest and author of the Balance Myth, Teresa Taylor. And it is going to be called, drumroll please, Bitch or Badass, Defeating the Negative Perception of Women in Sales. Guys, women in sales rock. I believe there's a gap. I want to help fill that gap, shrink that gap. And these two women are some of the most accomplished badasses in sales. And so I am super excited about that conversation. So I hope everybody gets to us on the 23rd of April. John, that's going to be a good show, man. I think you're going to appreciate it as well.
You know, I had the opportunity to attend a sales shebang event a couple times, and Jill helped found that organization. That is a group of badass sales and marketing women thought leaders, and I dig that community. So I think it's going to be a great conversation. I'm going to join that myself.
I'm very excited. And Shebang is going to be a sponsor, so this is going to be good. So, John, again, my pleasure, my man. I love having you around. I got to get out to L.A. and spend some time with you. Thank you for coming on. Thank everybody for joining. We apologize for the blips, but it's recorded. You can see it on YouTube. And with that, I think we are good to go. Anything else, Kira?
I think that's it. Thanks,
all right,
guys.
people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace. I'm out.
Just to the next episode.